morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the start of something a little bit fun, a little bit less serious than what we've been playing as of late, and something a little bit fan servicey. Sakura Spirit, the first in a long line of these games. There we go. It kind of like Mecha Ace and Hero of Kendrickstone, is a book, an ebook, so I'll be reading it aloud. At least, I'll be reading it once we get to the actual story, this little prologue bit. I don't need to read that for you. Game. Every man has a dream he wants to accomplish. However, there's something really important you should know, my boy. A real man doesn't give up on his dream, no matter what overwhelming challenges he may have to face. I still remember those foolish words my dad used to say, but despite their silly nature, I found myself inspired by them. Ever since I was a young child, I have been interested in martial arts. It didn't matter whether I watched a match on television or read a manga about some heroic martial artist. It has always been my dream to become a martial artist one day. Of course, it was a bit childish of me to think that I could become a hero simply by learning martial arts. Even though I already understood that superheroes were nothing more than figments of my imagination, I still had a desire to use my strength for the sake of others. My name is Gushiken Takahiro, a 17-year-old rising judo star. And no, that's not me bragging. I'm actually about to take part in a tournament 2 weeks from now that could make or break my career on an international level. Of course, I was excited about the opportunity to finally accomplish my dreams and represent my country at a sport I loved, but that same excitement also made me feel incredibly nervous. And while those worrisome thoughts haunted my mind, a familiar voice resounded from outside the window. Oi! Taka-kun! Get your butt in gear! Okay, I'll be right there, Koyomi. Not wanting to keep Koyomi waiting, I quickly dashed towards the front door to let her in, not even realizing I was still in my pajamas. Hold on a second, Koyomi. I've got to grab my shoes before we head off to school. Really? I never realized our school had a strict uniform or no sleepwear policy. Nice jammies, by the way. Did you borrow them from your mom? Ooh, sick burns. For a moment, my eyes drifted downwards, noticing that I indeed was wearing my pajamas. I let out a groan of annoyance, then marched back to my room. There's nothing wrong with my jammies. The Golden Knight is a famous comic book hero in the West. Besides, not everyone prefers to sleep naked like some people, like you. Mumbling those words, I started stripping out of my clothes, not particularly minding the presence of the girl behind me. That only happened once. You know it very well was super hot that night. And geez, warn me before you strip naked in front of me, you idiot. This must be Koyomi. You didn't seem to mind it when we were little. Maybe you want me to turn around instead? Ooh. No, stop. Don't make me kick your ass. I decided I had teased her enough and quickly pulled on my pants, proceeding with the remaining few items of clothing before I was suitably dressed for school. Besides, I had a reason for being so distracted. You've been distracted a lot lately. What's going on in that hollow skull of yours? Koyomi again. Sick burns. It's that upcoming match. I have no idea how anyone can remain calm when an international career is at stake. I wouldn't be surprised if I had made up enough doomsday scenarios to fill up the apocalypse genre. Oh, right, the judo thing. I'm sure you'll do fine. I've seen some of your matches, and you kick butt. And, of course, if you're really worried, you could always pray. Pray? Oh, Takahiro's wondering exactly what I'm wondering. What? Don't tell me you don't know. It's one of our school's legends. Apparently, there's some shrine out in the forest that, if you pray to it, it brings you good luck. Oh, okay, so this is a Buddhist thing, not a Christian thing. I guess it makes sense, we're in Japan. Ichikawa-san said that his sister prayed to it the night before her exam, and she got a perfect score. That's not impressive. Perfect score is like a requirement. A shrine that is said to bring you good luck? Sounds like bogus to me. Ooh, getting out that awesome grammar there. Sounds like bogus to me. But at this point, I'm willing to try anything, I guess. I'll ask Ichikawa-san about the location. I'm not exactly in the mood to get lost in the forest and end up in a modern-day Tarzan. Well, whatever. If you do go looking, at least send me a message to let me know. And will you hurry up? We're gonna be late again. Chill, Koyomi. Relax. A hero is never too early, nor are they too late. They arrive precisely when they are needed. I thought that was wizards, but for the sake of avoiding detention, let's hurry. That's a wizard, not a hero, genius. Oh, okay. Koyomi knows what's up. How can one person be such a sports nerd and such a geek at the same time? Let's not forget Casanova and Man of the Year candidate bits. They're important details. Oh, you're egotistical a bit. I doubt you'd qualify for either of them, Pajama Boy. Anyway, let us boldly go where no one has ever gone before. To school. Oh, where everyone has gone before. Nerd. Okay, Koyomi, you're not Piccolo. Several hours later. ... The hell? Can you... Oh, okay. Later that day, I finally got a chance to talk to my classmate about the location of the shrine that Koyomi had mentioned earlier. Gym was the last thing on the schedule for the day, so once people got ready to go home, I approached the guy. Hey, Ichikawa, is it true that your sister discovered some shrine that is said to bring you good luck? Oh ho ho! Let me guess, you want to date her? Well, even though I have to admit that she's very attractive, I'm afraid she's already going out with somebody else. I give him a pretty hunky voice, he looks pretty nerdy. Not to mention, you're not her type. I already got my hands full dealing with Koyomi. You can keep your sister to yourself. Jokes aside, I'm more interested in that shrine. Did she mention where she found it? I didn't know anything was near the forest, aside from that dojo. Oh. Well, she said something about it being near a river, and quite high up. To be honest, I wasn't paying too much attention when she was going on about it. I mean, she was wearing this top, and it... Okay, Ichikawa, that's enough out of you. Stop, I don't need to hear the details, and I doubt anyone else is interested. So, do you know anyone that might have heard about the shrine? Are you guys talking about that lucky shrine out in the forest? Classmate, the best name. The one and only. According to Ichikawa's sister, there's supposed to be one near a river. I don't know about that. But there's this fiery girl at the Sakura dojo who knows more about it. Wait, are you talking about Ariya-sama? About this tall, ridiculously strong, and super scary? What? Another sentence that is brutal. About this tall, ridiculously strong, and super scary. Super scary? That's the one. Oh, in that case, I believe I can still be of help, Takahiro-kun. I know where that place is. Of course you do. We both do. You just want to tag along, don't you? I don't think Ariya-senpai will appreciate you visiting her with your usual tricks in mind. Do I need to remind you what happened the last time you tried to peek at her after she finished practice? Blood, sweat, and tears. Shut up! I don't peep on the ladies. That's slander, you know. I should sue you. I would never look upon Ariya-sama's glorious body in any state of nudity. You were just talking about your sister, bro. I don't believe you. Oh, so you haven't seen her naked yet? I've seen a bit of side boob, but the hole I found didn't really give me a good view of... There we go. Somebody call the cops. Ichikawa, the peeping Tom, has confessed. I playfully patted Ichikawa's shoulder as I turned around, grabbing my bag in the process and prepared to leave. Thanks for the tip, Ichikawa. I'll let you I'll let the judge know you were most helpful during the interrogation. This is unfair. I was coerced. I won't say another word until I speak with my lawyer. Is this another several hours past sort of bit? Yeah, I guess. Once school was over, I decided to take my chances with the little bit of intel I had managed to obtain from my classmates. If memory served me right, Ariya-senpai would be practicing at the dojo today. Of course, I knew her. She was a judo student like myself, but for whatever reason she had been refusing to compete in any tournaments for a while now. Ariya-senpai, are you around? I shouted her name as I parked my bike, looking for any sign of the girl. Hiya! 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 Heh, follow the shouts and you will find her. I grinned briefly as I saw Ariya standing in the middle of practicing a series of motions, almost as if she was fighting an imaginary opponent. Perhaps now was the perfect opportunity to surprise her a little? I snuck closer, making sure to make as little noise as possible, before I reached a hand towards her shoulder. Ariya! Feeling a hand on her shoulder, Ariya reacted. She grabbed a hold of my hand, and with a loud grunt, shifting her weight, curling and tipping me over her shoulder. I didn't have the time to brace myself for the impact before I hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. Hiya! No one sneaks up on the great Kunoichi Ariya. Oh, Takaboy. I didn't realize it was you. I'm sorry, are you okay? Kunoichi? More like the Tasmanian devil. That throw didn't have a shred of mercy in it. There's no mercy in the ring, Takaboy. I feel like I'm in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged. There's no mercy in the ring, Takaboy. Okay there, Pegasus, calm down. Better that you learn now than in 2 weeks' time. Let me guess, you want to do some sparring, don't you? I actually came here to ask you something, but I guess a little sparring wouldn't hurt. Oh? What did you want to ask? We've got all afternoon, and I could do with a bit of a break anyway. Where to start? You used to take part in big and important matches in the past, right? Didn't you ever get nervous before going into the ring? Oh, yeah. This one time I got so nervous I hid in the kitchen cupboards until my dad found me and dragged me to the car. Of course, I was like 8. Well, obviously, I can't go and hide for my match. But one of my friends made this stupid suggestion that I go and pray or something. Honestly, at this point, I'll do anything to calm my nerves a little. Takaboy, are you sure about this? You mean the match? Of course I am. I've been practicing judo ever since I was old enough to walk. This is my chance to finally represent my country and the sport I love. Ariya seemed to think for quite a long time, all the while tapping her jaw with a finger. Eventually, she snapped her fingers and grabbed tight a hold of me. Alright, I'll tell you the way to this shrine I know, but it's going to require more than a simple clap of your hands and bob of your head. You'll need to give something to the shrine, something of value. I guess I'll have to think of something before we get there. Thanks, Senpai. I appreciate the help. We? Oh, no, Takaboy. I'm not going with you. I've got training to do. Besides, you've got to take this step yourself. I can draw you a map and show you an easy way to get back here. You'll be on your own. You're not tagging along? Not in for a little while? Afraid so, Takaboy. Let me just grab some paper. I'll draw that map for you. Afraid so, Kaiba boy. After Ariya's return, Ariya... Jeez. That's an awkward name, even for Japanese, I think. Hard to say. Ariya's return, quick preparations were made, and I followed the directions noted down on the map. Surprisingly, it wasn't all that far. However, the hint on the way how to find my way back, in case I got lost, was a bit sketchy. Just look down and you'll be able to see the roof of the dojo from anywhere on the hill. The forest near the dojo was the first challenge to overcome. A narrow path coiled along the trees, and nearby the river Ichikawa's sister had mentioned. I followed Ariya's scribbles with a bit of skepticism, but after an hour or so, I finally arrived at the supposedly legendary shrine. The shrine itself seemed surprisingly well maintained, despite it being in the middle of nowhere. It made me wonder if somebody could be secretly living there. Perhaps some secret martial arts master? The thought of a hermit, living in hiding within the shrine in order to prepare himself for an upcoming battle between good and evil, started to dwell in my mind. Buddy, Takaboy, you read too many comic books. I guess it's too good to be true. Yep. I sighed in annoyance at the fact that, aside from the shrine itself, the ground seemed to be completely abandoned. There was no way anyone could be living there. For the time being, I decided to focus on the reason behind my visit. It only took a few moments before I gathered the courage to approach the building. Once inside, I found a rather fancy-looking altar of sorts at the back of the room. I guess this is the thing everybody's talking about. Silently, I folded up the map I had been given. Putting it inside my bag, I approached the altar. I was kind of skeptical about the whole religious aspect, so I wasn't too sure if this was going to work. I don't even think luck will do me much good in a match like this. In my opinion, there wasn't any room for things like luck in martial arts. Judo is all about using the knowledge you have gained through training. Of course, a good amount of talent also helps. You can argue that's anything, though. Math is all about using the knowledge you gain through training or practice. A good amount of talent also helps. Yeah, you could do anything there. There was simply no room for something as superstitious as luck. Clearly, this was going to be a match where my experience and talent would be pushed to their limits. Nothing more and nothing less. How curious. The boy doesn't believe in superstition, and yet he stands here, surrounded by the very thing he denounces. Upon hearing the voice, I looked around, trying to find the source, but there was no one to be seen. Who's there? Quite the cliched question, but the right thing to ask is, where am I? What are you talking about? Show yourself. Not yet. Entertain me for a little while longer, won't you? This is a place like no other. Why did you come here if you do not believe in such things as luck? I came here to prepare myself. Oh, do enlighten me about what this something might be that you are preparing for. I felt a bit annoyed as the questions continued, but maybe if I kept talking to her, I would be able to find out where Shell was hiding. Oh yeah, Shell. I'm preparing for a tournament. Judo match. Judo? What might that be? Seriously? You don't know what judo is? It's a highly skilled combat art. Aha, so you're a warrior. Hesitant to go into battle and came here in hopes of finding the resolve to fight. I'm not sure about the warrior part. How fortunate. Just so happens that there is a need for one of your kind. My kind? A hero. This shrine brings fortune to heroes such as yourself. However, every great hero must sacrifice something in return. Sounds like what the others mentioned. Your version sounds better, though. Laughing briefly at the story, I decided to play along and clapped my hands together in prayer. So what's next? Do I offer up my allowance or something? Don't be silly. Money is of a very little importance to a hero. For you, the sacrifice will be something much greater in value. I will be looking forward to seeing what destiny has in store for you. As if on cue, I began to feel nauseated the moment the girl's words reached my ears, my head spinning wildly. Slowly, I staggered backwards, collapsing onto my back. As my vision grew blurry, the sound of approaching footsteps could be heard.
Good luck, hero. You're gonna need it.
And just like that, ooh, music seemed to cut out. I think we are gonna call this part 1. The mysterious girl has just made us nauseated and collapsed, so that's a little bit worrying. Oh well, maybe we can figure out what's going on next time. Later.